Hey guys.
Hello.
So first of all, thank you for taking this talk at this hour, and thank you for everyone that's listening at the moment. The topic for today is obviously the innovation in the food and beverage industry, and your experiences, seeing as both of you have businesses separate to each other. So I will start with you, Ghalia, if you can just give us a little bit of introduction about your business and how you've come about to create it, and then we'll move on to our lovely gentleman.
My name is Ghalia. I started OG about 5 years ago. I started making ice cream at home as kind of a meditation after long days at work. And so I started falling in love with it and starting to be more creative with it. A friend of mine owns a restaurant, wanted me to supply ice cream, custom ice creams to her. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something, maybe this could be a business. And my first ice cream was actually supplying yuzu ice cream to Tampopo. So that's how we started. Yes.
Sounds delicious. And if you can both as well, say Suco.
Yes, يعطيكم العافية. معكم ضاري الفضالة.
معكم يعقوب الهويدي.
We used to study in the States of California. بلشت فكرة الأساي هناك. كنا شبه يومي نروح ناكل أساي هناك. فقلنا ليش ما نطبق هالشيء بالكويت. هو كان موجود بالكويت بس إنه كtexture the sorbet that we got from California is different and why not يعني bring it to Kuwait. فالحمد لله إحنا جبناه الكويت و it's a local brand. We done all the homemade ingredients like the peanut butter, granola, كل الأمور.
One of our key strategies was to first focus on having consistent clientele. يعني بالبداية ما كان همنا إنه يكون في دور لآخر الشارع، لا every day إنه في clients قاعد يدشون المحل، قاعد يتعرفون على المحل، قاعد يتعرفون على الكونسبت، قاعد يتعرفون شنو الأساي و how is it supposed to be eaten without any fruits, additives or fillers. This was one of the key strategies that we started بالبداية وليومنا هذا. شكرا.
Sounds very nice. One thing that I've noticed is that both of you kind of, I'm not going to say you're in a similar field, but it's quite close.
We definitely are.
Yeah. What kind of made you, do you feel that there's a lot of competition in the field that you are in? Not in the food and beverage, but precisely maybe in the acai or in the ice cream?
I would say yes, but not like as big as like, you know, like if you say like the burgers, like the coffee industry, they're like too massive in Kuwait يعني بس إنه more ice cream and acai, it's like شوية it's like niche of a brand, you know.
Right.
So it's not like a huge competition, but it's good.
Yes, enough. I don't know that there is a lot of competition with a whole ingredient ice cream being made in Kuwait. There's a lot of powders and additives and preservatives that go into most ice creams in Kuwait. And if you care about quality and flavor and health, then I wouldn't say there's direct competition, but there's definitely a lot of ice cream brands out there.
I believe that also one of the real competitions you have within the field is with yourself. يعني how you can surpass every goal you achieve and how you can evolve the menu and develop new items towards the same field. يعني هذا وايد شيء اشتغلنا عليه احنا بالفيلد هذا.
While you were speaking, I just kind of thought about something. Obviously, I'm not someone that thinks of ice cream as something that's all the way around. Maybe perhaps acai is something that I would think that you can consume all year round, only because of the health industry pushing that acai is so good for you. But how do you maintain the interest of the market or the consumer in your businesses?
What we saw at first, like we were scared, like once we opened in November. So we were scared, like, okay, it's gonna be like winter الحين, فهل الناس راح ياكلون أساي? Is it like too cold for them? But apparently not. يعني it's more of like a breakfast option. It's more of a like light snack. You can eat like either winter and summer, you know, it's both. So فعدت.
For us, winter is definitely a problem, like definitely. So we shifted. So while I was making ice cream at home, I realized that in the process, ice cream is heated and then it's cooled. And one flavor in particular, I would drink hot, which was my dark chocolate ice cream. And so it became a staple in the winter that the dark chocolate ice cream turns into a hot chocolate. And it is what keeps me surviving through winters, honestly. Like, I'm no joke. It is what keeps me afloat. People know it, people love it. So definitely have to find creative ways to, for me, at least. Yeah.
That was going to bring me into the next question, which is where do you find inspiration for these types of experiences that you want to create for your consumers? Was this something by trial and error that you kind of figured out one day while working on your ice cream or while you're working with your, say, Suco brand with your acai? Or is this something that you actually have to constantly keep grinding over there and trying to figure out what you need to do to keep the consumer interested?
Well, for me, I was lucky that I found that, but you definitely have to work and see what works because everyone's taste is so different and you have to find that one thing that everyone can agree on to keep you, at least you're, as a bestseller, to make your others shine, the other smaller flavors that are not so mass. That's for me, but...
احنا من ناحيتنا بعد we tried wide customer interaction all year long. If we have a new product, if we have a new item, either we just want to see what they want towards the brand. From the minute that they enter into the store until they leave, they have a full experience with the employees and with our products. يعني اللي يشوفونه بالانستغرام قاعد يشوفونه بالمحل. هذه من الأشياء اللي it influences us.
Could you walk me through, I'm going to start with, say, Suco, if you can walk me through the process of how you come up with like the creative concepts that go into your brand or into creating a recipe, for example, or into creating مثلا a consumer experience.
أنا أحس بالبداية وايد ركزنا إن نسوي the brand itself. We worked with a smart partner, Formation Creative House, to build the brand. بالبداية إحنا ما كنا نعرف أهمية the brand identity at all. يعني we just thought as if it was a logo. بس بعدين شفنا إنه لا يعني البراند مهم. People are starting to know us from our font, our colors. وهذا ورانا أهمية البراند. فبالنهاية when you see this, you know what people want. يعني you know that the identity is important, so whatever you build on it will actually grow with the consumers.
Can you repeat your question?
It was talking about how you maintain the innovation, or if you could talk me through the creative process of like what you do in your business, if there's anything specific or routine or, you know.
So for me, seasonality is huge. And because our flavors and our ingredients are the most fresh that we can make them, we try to focus on what's in season, what can I get fresh, what can I get from Kuwait, because just that flight bringing over ingredients takes away freshness. So for me, it's, okay, I'm gonna go to the supplier and taste every fruit that they have and see which one is best this season, bring it back and make the ice cream. So really for me, it's seasonality, and it's just the way I like to do things. But obviously my menu keeps changing every month, so it's not the same, Yes, yeah.
Maintaining adaptability to what's available out there in the market. Yeah.
Sure.
Anna, I would say just a point here, because what I like to do on Instagram is show my staff the most. Like if I launch a product, I don't like to bring like a model and like like a photo shoot and stuff like. I like to show the people who's coming in the store to have the experience, the same experience as they see in the video. Mm-hmm. So that's why I use like a lot of my staff. They're fun, they're friendly, and once you enter the store, the same thing, Mm-hmm. So this is the most.
I'm going to ask you guys to maybe take a step back from your own personal businesses and maybe look at the bigger picture of Kuwait. The market over here has an incredible range of restaurants in all fields or in all different categories. What is a campaign or a specific maybe brand that has done something that has resonated really well with you or has left an impression with you that you maybe were inspired by or maybe that you'd like to relate to or share with the listeners?
I would say BBT, the Red Town, because what they did is something amazing. Like they built a haunted house by the beach, like I think within 2 months. And they brought the actors from the States as well. And so once they enter, like, you know, the haunted house, then there's BBT over there with the same theme, with the same vibe. So this is something great that I saw recently.
Same idea. متفقين.
BBT.
So for me, I get the hype. I get, it's not me, it's not my brand, it's not anything. I'm not a hype person. It's not what I know how to do. But I loved, it's another burger brand, or it's called Beef Habibi. Anyway, I had no idea what they were or what they had, but they had a campaign that like shocked me, because there was this guy, I don't know if he's their mascot or whatever, going and reading the horrible, horrible reviews of their food and being like, okay, we're gonna make this better. And that's their entire campaign. Like, okay, 1 star, I'm gonna make that better. 1 star, and literally they said, we changed this and we changed the bread that you all hate, and we try it now. And really their ratings went so much, so much higher, and it's because they owned up to their product, and I loved that. I thought that was genius.
Did it somehow inspire you into creating a specific campaign that perhaps you worked on? I know that you said it's not what you're into, you're not into the hype, but maybe you are. Is there an idea that you would wish to adapt, or that you're working on, or that you've tried to adapt in a similar format to your business model?
Not really, to be honest. But the haunted house is too extreme, you know. It's like
Another level.
Yeah, another level.
So بالكويت صراحة.
You've experienced it, you've been to it?
No, but I've always seen it like on Instagram and stuff like that. But I've never been there.
And yourself? Not the hype.
Yes, not the hype.
So what emerging trends do you see shaping the future of the food and beverage industry now? Obviously, like, again, you work in a very niche kind of sector in the food and beverage, but when we take a step back and we look at the food industry in general, and I'm going to say, I think I've heard of a restaurant trying out AI-generated recipes and things like that. What do you see? How do you see the future of the food and beverage industry, like, progressing forward?
Well, the way I see it is that we are so immersed in this world, this virtual world, that when we're off of it, we are looking for experiences that we cannot get. So in terms of restaurants, or you really need an experience that's going to take you out of the norm. So for me, what I'm thinking is that the trend is going to be something very personalized, makes the restaurant goer feel very exclusive into where they're going, so that when they share, it's like, oh, you're exclusive, but actually experiencing it is something completely different than just eating regular food. But I think that's where the trend is kind of going.
Okay, so the customer experience.
Customer experience, yes.
Exactly. That's what I focus on, exactly.
That's what you're focusing on?
Yeah. But what I saw recently is it was a drive-through in the States, in Wendy's. They were using AI as the drive-through. I think this is something new that will maybe be in Kuwait. Instead of like talking to a person, you're ordering from an AI, you know. This is something new as well.
So obviously, I think we've kind of touched base on it, but we've talked about the creative process and how you work in your businesses, but is there something very dear, like a very particular moment in when you were creating your business where you felt like a pivot, where it turned from just like a little passion project or a concept or an idea in your head into the child that you've created now with, say, Suco or with OG? What was the pivotal moment for you?
So we have a recent campaign coming up right now. We're gonna launch matcha latte, so like mostly matcha drinks. So I was like just thinking like of a great idea. Like I saw all other places who have matcha right now in Kuwait, and how did they launch this drink? Like people like just a normal basic photo shoot, a reel, like a blogger and stuff like that. But I kind of took it like out of the box. So we contacted a production company in Japan, and we shipped our packaging to Japan, and to have it filmed over there, and because we're getting the direct supply from Japan as well. So right now they're shooting the video over there for the matcha, and hopefully it comes out like next week, inshallah.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
So the pivotal moment for me in my business has been around for 5 years, and it's been a cloud kitchen that had no real, the identity was the packaging and the brand, but the pivotal moment was when I put an actual store, because it allowed me to be able to conversate with my customers. It made me be able to listen to the people that are actually taking the time and coming to my store. And I think that it just flipped my business 180. Like, I really think that was the best decision I ever made, to be personally there and not just dependent on delivery.
I agree, that's a huge plus for Ghalia.
Thank you.
There in the store.
Thank you.
Obviously with the food and beverage industry, with the restaurants in Kuwait and having so many restaurants constantly popping up, and I'm going to say more localized concepts over here, what do you think is what keeps them running, or what makes the customer loyal to them?
I think there is something that people can't buy, which is passion. And if you have passion towards the concept that you are trying to create, no one can stop you. بالنهاية البزنس, there are no traffic lights. Then your imagination, if you have the determination and persistence, you can achieve. If you have the passion towards the brand, and it's not just an idea of owning a business, that's where you can have success. But if you just want to own a business as a name without like any passion towards it or any actual, يعني احنا hands on بالموضوع. حتى واحنا عندنا operational manager احنا hands on. We're micro managing ونشوف شنو الفرص اللي تجينا. هذه الامور هذه تساعد ان البزنس يكبر. بس اما لو بس اسلم I give it to the operational manager and he does everything, we don't know what's happening. He might be careless because it's not his store at the end. Do you know what I mean? Passion is something you can't buy. You have to have passion towards your business, especially in a very competitive market like Kuwait. يعني Kuwait مبدعة ولادة. You can see from all the people who talked today and will talk tomorrow, film industry, food industry, the market is growing. People are being يعني ambitious, taking the risks, and this is helping the market grow بالنهاية.
I agree, passion is definitely one, but there are so many brands out there that start with the hype that we talked about, and then 1 year later, the food quality is absolutely horrible, and they just bank on the hype and the brand to keep it going. And I think that is what the first thing to plummet a business is, that when you really take your hands off and say, oh, people know me, or oh, our brand is strong enough, or it's absolutely like it's detrimental to what we are trying to do, because we bring a brand, but we're bringing quality and consistency towards it that hopefully gets the customer to come back every time. If we just say, no, this costs too much, or no, I'm just going to get a generic brand to use in my ingredients, this is what makes you like everyone else, and this is what makes you unrecognizable. Even if your brand is strong, even if your brand image and your branding and your packaging is strong, at the end of the day, customers are so smart, and really, they'll try it once, twice, and then they'll be like, no, we'll try something else. There's so many options. So I really think consistency and quality are what keep your brand going.
Yes, people are picky. بالكويت وايد فاهمين بالاكل، فيعني they know if it's high quality ingredient or just commercialized ويلا خلينا نخلص.
We love our food. We love to eat. In regards to the customers, obviously being picky and being a smart consumer, again, with the trends and things changing constantly all the time, we talked about maintaining some kind of customer relationship with people to maintain the loyalty of them to constantly keep coming. Do you find it, though, frustrating at times when, now moving away from the customers, for other businesses, we talked about passion. Being passionate is something you need. And everybody can be passionate and come up with the same concept and replicate what you do. Have you had any issues with this where you work so hard for years thinking about creating something and dreaming about it and being passionate about it, and you work so hard to do it, and then a couple of months later, someone just replicates your idea and your concept, which tends to happen a lot? I don't want to say in Kuwait, I'm going to say worldwide, but we're very specific to Kuwait. how does that keep your passion, you know?
You know what? You just repeat to yourself, imitation is the largest form of flattery. Imitation is the best form of flattery. Like, that's all you can do because to me, it's, yes, they'll steal the idea, they'll do it, but it's not going to taste the same. And I'll just hold on to that, you know, because I know what I'm putting into my product, and it does get draining at points where your brand gets stolen, where your recipes get taken. Like, it gets to that point, but you have to just stay 2 steps ahead so that they're always, you know, 2 steps back. That's what I think it is. But
100%. 100%. Focus on yourself. Okay, they imitated us, but we have to be smart about it. أنا لما أشوف أحد يقلدني, okay, that makes me proud that I did something right, but I have to excel even more. You know what I mean? So you're constantly in a battle. You think you achieved a certain goal, but you're not done. If you see it that way, you're never done.
You mentioned something interesting about stealing recipes. I'm not sure, but maybe because you're professionals in your field, you'll be able to help me out, and maybe to the people listening. But there is no law that really protects the creative person when creating their recipes. Is this something that maybe you would like to see work out for you over here in Kuwait, where there's some form of copyright restrictions in regards to like coming up with the concepts that you come up with, because you work so hard for months or years or however long it takes to come up with an idea, and then.
But I think this is a worldwide issue. Like, you can, yes, I mean, it's hard to maintain a recipe because if you just change the amount, 1 gram of salt or 1 gram of milk, or it's not the same recipe anymore. So it's very, you know, hard to maintain that. But yeah, our employees get poached, and our head, you know, chefs get poached and to replicate, and you just have to trust that you've created a good environment for your staff and a loyalty with your staff through how you treat them, that they won't end up doing that, you know. And that's why I really consider the staff at OG family, because we're all working there together. They're spending 8 to 9 hours a day there. They're leaving their, you know, of course, you are part of the brand too. So if I feel like the staff are like number 1, and if they're happy, the company can continue, and they won't stab you in the back and give your recipes to someone else. I mean, that's
Keep the loyalty internal.
Exactly.
Because we always tell them, like, treat the store as it's yours, you know. So this is how we treat our staff over there. And the store is yours. So if you want to spread the recipe and do it like that, you won't do it for your own store. أكثر واحد يقابل الموظفين يعقوب يعني فهو عارف he talks to them as the mostly.
They go, our employees go through a very rigorous interview process with me, with us, and then my focus is not on their experience at all. The experience we can teach them, but my focus is testing their loyalty, knowing why they want to leave their previous هذا, how I make them stay in our company. And one of the things we always mention to them, if you don't treat the brand as it's your own, then there are a lot of employees, especially in the interview process. And they see employees at the door because there's an interview day. But when they come in, they meet us, they meet the team, they know what they are getting. So we also, after they meet us, they meet the team. They meet the operational manager, they meet with them, and then they take the decision, and we take our decision.
That's great. So if I could just ask you maybe perhaps before we turn out to the crowd and just ask them for some questions, what advice would you have for people trying to get into the food and beverage industry? Other than, obviously we've spoken about passion, but if we're going to just be real.
I would say branding, to be honest.
Branding.
Yeah, branding is huge right now, because you need to be like, because branding, mashallah, in Kuwait right now is like even better than anywhere else in the world. Branding, design of the store.
To invest in that.
Yeah, this is a huge plus.
I'd say please don't open a restaurant thinking that it's going to make money just because it's a restaurant. You really have to love what you're selling, and you really have to believe in what you're selling, because there are so many concepts that have a zillion things on their menu, and none of it is refined, and you can get it anywhere else. Focus. If you love something, focus on that thing and nurture it, and it will do well because you're putting all your effort into it. So لا تشتتون نفسكم thinking that, oh, let me add to my menu, maybe that will sell. Let me add to my menu, maybe that. Focus, hone in, make your product the best that it could be so that you can stand out in a sea of restaurants.
I agree with that because I've seen as a consumer restaurants go from being purely, for example, burger related, but they need to cater to another one, so they'll start adding some pizzas into it, and then a little bit more it'll start extending into something, and then you're sitting and you're trying to wonder where you're at.
None of it is good. None of it stands out because you're focusing on too many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any questions anyone would like to ask? Yes? There's two. Can someone pass the mic? Pass?
أول شيء يعطيكم العافية. I'm a big supporter of both OG و Suco, and as much as I'd like to have it every day, يعني ما أقدر شوي أخاف على صحتي. My question is, depending on your involvement with product development, do you ever come across a point اللي لا I've had too much sugar, مليت من طعم? How do you go about kind of managing that when you're intimate with the product itself?
Well, for me, it's in general, our ice cream base has less sugar than your regular ice cream. And in general, as a rule, we use no preservatives, no additives, no chemicals, no coloring, nothing artificial. So that's a rule. When I feel like, so ice cream is indulgent. It's a treat. You're not supposed to have it every day. But there are people with diabetes, and there are people who deserve, a sweet treat. So we do have sugar-free options on the menu just to cater to the people who are wanting or do have a sweet tooth but I feel like just in general as a base, our ice cream is a better for you option. Maybe not the healthiest you can find, obviously, but it's a good treat to have if you're having it once a week. Don't have it every day. Like I unfortunately have to have it every day, but you don't. So everything in moderation, right? So at least you're not getting any anything artificial in your body. So that's how I go about it.
Really good answer. Really good answer. بس حق الأساي تقريبا نفس الشيء. يعني we don't add any fruits, fillers, colorings. It's vegan friendly. We have 3 sizes. يعني you can choose mini, small, regular بالنهاية. زين. And even the toppings. يعني you could go healthy with just fruits and make it a really fresh, healthy bowl instead of adding butters or granola. Yes. So قاعد تضحك لأن تدري إنه يقادت. إيه فيعني you can get healthier. بس لا صدق يعني our product has gone through tests in the States. It has a very high level of antioxidants, surpasses blueberries, surpasses any other berry. And that's why we tend to serve the highest premium outlet of acai. The company, when they see that, for example, the acai isn't that sweet enough, they add more acai rather than added fruits and fillers, which makes us more comfortable because we know that we are not getting something commercial. So I hope that answers your question.
أول شيء يعطيكم العافية صدق I love both of your brands وأتمنى لكم كل خير. بس عندي سؤالين. أول شيء السؤال الأول حق سوكو راح تردون البينات باتر باي any chance في الستور؟ يعني صراحة أنا
أيوه بالضبط.
البينات باتر جار خليته من قوت وتوهقت صار فيني الحين شلون شو أسوي؟
بس لو كان موجودة هني بيالتي إن شاء الله قوت الجاي يعني إحنا
لا يعني شي نطرني بعد سنة.
لا بس إن شاء الله يعني we're planning soon. بس إنه هذا this is one point إنه ما نبي الكاستمرز يملون like they would buy the jars and take it home. You gotta keep waiting at the same time.
بعد يعني لازم brand identity يعني. وسؤالي الثاني حق both of you. Have you ever thought of collaborating مع other شركات نفس فوليوم وبترو شلون سووا collaboration؟ وهل ممكن نشوف collaboration بينكم؟
أتشرف والله
إن
collaboration
شاء الله. إن شاء الله.
والله أتشرف because I think we have the same ideology in the way we go about our ingredients. And collabs, yes, we've done collabs, but the Petra and KDD, they're not within our guidelines. يعني they're not within, obviously they have preservatives and additives and all of that, so we cannot collaborate. But we've collaborated with many other Kuwaiti locally run restaurants, but I would love to collaborate with you guys.
Inshallah, yeah. We should do something with the peanut butter, inshallah.
Let's do it. So we let's peanut butter ice cream, شايج.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. This is going to be a loaded question, so bear with me. Ghalia, you mentioned like the using creativity to overcome challenges. I would love to know for both of you guys, what challenges have your businesses experienced and how did you overcome that? And what was the creative process for that? That's number one. Number two, have you ever thought about expanding your businesses? For example, putting ice cream in supermarkets? Yeah, if you can talk about that.
So for me, I faced a major challenge. I'll be very transparent. After the third year of business, our sales plummeted. Like I didn't want to continue. I didn't want to, and that was after Corona. And I was thinking of just shutting it down and focusing. I have a full-time job, and so it was, should I revive this or should I not? And at the end of the day, I didn't think of it as a business per se. I thought of it as something that I loved. So I didn't want to lose that light. And that's why, and how I overcame that was through literally starting from scratch. OG today is not the OG it was when I started because I reinvested into that company. I reinvested time, myself, money, everything to make it what it is, and it was the best decision that I made because it's proving that it does work. When you hit that low, it's akbar khar'a. Like it's, am I out or do I want to continue? Am I gonna find an investor? And it's so scary, but at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong. It's what you feel like you need to be doing. And creativity came through the space that I made. I think that I created a tiny but very different space that I envisioned OG to be with the help of, obviously, of an amazing designer. So this is, it's just in reinvesting yourself when you know that there's nothing else you can give. It's only yourself. So that was the biggest challenge that I had to face and a decision that I had to make and stick to. So I hope that answered your question.
دوري
احنا نتفق على السبلاي والشيبمنتس.
صح واحنا يعني supply chain is a huge issue زين بالذات with international incidents. Supplies may take some time. If you run out and your shipment يعني is gonna end, you have to take extreme measures like getting it by plane or whatever, and by plane is triple the price of by boat. One of the challenges is actually seeing يعني the idea came, we were in the car, he was like تبين بطل أساي؟ أنا أشوفه يلا. بعد أسبوعين عندنا meeting it got into reality. It took 1 year of full planning until we opened. غير the challenges of building the store, you need the right designer, but the contractor is not always right. Many issues, wide issues للأمانة, بس we wanted to work. We left our jobs to make it work. We are now full-time Suco because other than that, Suco cannot grow. That's how we are moving more freely right now, because before we used to work until 4, and then any meeting we have was from 4 till 10. So we didn't have any time even to like be with our families, eat or whatever. So this is one of the challenges. وعلى سؤال الجمعيات والله إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله بس يبي له packaging صح والسيلينج صح وإن شاء الله الأساس يكون بالجمعيات. شكرا.
أول شيء يعطيكم العافية جميعاً. وايد شيء حلو إن إحنا قاعد نشوف طاقات شبابية قاعد تطلع وقاعد تمثل شيء وايد حلو من الكويتيين، فشكراً ويعطيكم العافية. عندي سؤالين. الأول هو how do you manage to balance between the workload و your life؟ هذا واحد. اثنين, you know how the trends بال advertising are always changing. People were relying a lot on influencers و bloggers وكذي. و that's a bit shifting recently يعني. How do you see the advertising moving forward? Plus, when it comes to campaigning for a new item or something new, شنو يعني the process that goes behind it? ويعطيكم العافية.
So, balancing, what is balancing? I don't know it. I've never heard of it before. لا, it's tough. It's very tough. أنا مثل ما قلت هما they left their job. I didn't leave my job. أنا أشتغل بالسينما, which is interesting because this whole thing is film and food, and this is what I do. So anyway, from morning till 3 o'clock, I'm in cinema, and then from 3 till 7, I'm at OG. I don't balance anything. Do not take me. I'm not a healthy lifestyle. This is not what you should be doing at all. But I think that I'm in a certain position that not everyone is in. I'm lucky enough to be able still to live with my family and see my family and more than once or twice a week for lunch. And alhamdulillah, but I don't balance, one. Two, trends on bloggers and all of that is definitely declining. Yani, I don't really pay influencers or ما دشيت بهالمجال. I tried to leave it more organic. بس in the past من ما فتحت المحل هذا اللي عندي أنا صرت أطلع بالكاميرا. It was very hard. It is still very hard and to be able to be comfortable. بعدين أفتح تيك توك وأشوف كل هالجنزيرز نص نايمين وقاعد يتكلمون على التلفزيون. He's like, you know what, you can do it. Just get on camera. I don't know. But it was fine, and it's actually what is really boosting my business. And people in يشوفون الbusiness owner really passionate. I know I'm passionate, but people didn't see it. For just being on camera and showing people that you're there, you're هذا, it really resonates so much. For my thing is, you don't need to be paying other people. If you just show what you do and show your passion towards it, let everybody see it, it goes a very long way.
Exactly, that's a huge plus for you. يعني الأمانة حتى قلتها يعقوب نفس الشيء. إحنا الأمانة we did not ما تعاملنا مع وايد bloggers. We like word of mouth mostly. الحمد لله يعني من واحد يجرب راح يقول حق صاحبه إنه ترى والله حلو جرب هذا. We make it more word of mouth. And the other part is from my marketing إن أحب أطلع الموظفين. أحب يعني فرضا عندنا كان فيديو العيد. طلعنا الفيديو ان الموظفين يقعدون يعطونا عيديه فصار يعني تقولون it went viral. فهالناس يشوفون ان يجون المحل يشوفون اكثر شيء. this is it يعني ما اؤمن اني والله اعطي بلوجر انه يترس لي فرضا المحل لاين but the other day it's not the same. فانا احب organically and word of mouth اكثر شيء. Yeah.
I have a question. What does say Suco mean?
اوكي فالاسم كنت قاعد افكر فيه. اول شيء قلت ابي say اساي يعني I translated اساي to Portuguese نفس الشيء ما تغير. فقلت ابي كلمه ثانيه فحطيت شنو هم راح ابيع مع الاساي. of course juice smoothies فحطيت جوس فطلع لي سوكو فقلت سي سوكو اوكي يا مشت فسي سوكو.
سوكو مو سوكو.
لا سوكو is juice in Portuguese.
Okay, perfect.
Is off. No, it's on now. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
We'll really appreciate it, and we will hold you guys up for that collaboration.
Yeah.
Somebody obviously is there. There's another person. And we look forward to many more things coming from the both of you. Good luck to everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys.